10th point weekly on Magic the Gathering Online. Nice. Got a lot of a good response from the audience there. I'm here with my co-host, TheRedMage, carrying over from our X-Mage adventures. Say hello.
Hi.
He's running the tech and all the stuff on his side, which is really convenient for me because it frees me up to not fuck up the tech, which is great.
I mean, that means that I get to fuck up the tech, so we're gonna get to see.
I'm happy to absolve myself of all responsibility.
We got a whole system here. It's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great.
If you've seen our 10-point stuff before, you may be like, wait a second, you guys aren't on X-Mage anymore. Correct. We're running a season on Moto because X-Mage, the well of X-Mage dries up around this time of the year. So we thought we might try out Moto and get more players. And indeed we have. We have 9 people here today. Yes, we have 9 people playing in this event, and one of them is going to be a little late. So we'll get them in for round 2. It'll be all good. We have a ton of exciting players. Normally I would list everybody, but we have so many of them that you'll see in the games, which is very exciting. We're going to run for 3 rounds, at the end of which we should only have 1 3-0, but we'll see.
With 9 players, we would have 2, but it's...
we could have 2.
Yeah.
We're going to play some
It's unlikely,
awesome
but possible.
Yeah. We're going to play some awesome Canadian Highlander here. If you don't know what Canadian Highlander is, it is a 100 singleton format with the vintage ban list, i.e. the only cards that are banned are the ones that don't work, like Shahrazad and whatever. Every other card is legal, but you might be wondering, why don't I run just, like Ancestral Recall and every other good blue card? Well, there's a thing called the points list. The points list is a list of powerful cards. Associated with them is a number of points. Whenever you put one of those cards into your deck, you spend that number of points for your deck, and you have 10 total points to spend. So, for example, Ancestral Recall 7 points, True Name Nemesis is 1 point, Demonic Tutor is 3 points, all the Moxen are 3 points. I'm trying to think of another good example. Soul Ring is 3 points. And so when you stack these cards up, eventually you'll hit your point cap, and that makes sure that the power level of the format stays reasonable and everybody doesn't just play blue.
Yeah, the format is set up in such a way there is a council of 5 people that manage the point list and try to make sure that the format is as even in power level as possible and as diverse as possible, which is they do a really good job. There isn't much to say there. They have the format is great. There's you can play decks in pretty much all possible archetypes, which is it's great.
Yeah, I love Canlander. If you want to learn more about Canadian Press, I think if you just Google Canadian Highlander, you should get to it.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, oh, where are you running this tournament? How do I join? It's completely free. All you have to do is go to the Canadian Highlander Discord.
There's a link in the description down below.
There's a link. Ooh, there's a link in the description down below.
I think I think I put one there. Now this is where I embarrassingly check if that's actually true, but I believe that.
Yeah, I hope it's right. Go and join the Canlander Discord, even if you don't want to play in our events. It's huge and amazing. We have a ton of incredible players here in some of the formats. Kind of highest points in terms of people like who play. Wheeler and Jer and people like that are hanging out on the Discord, talk about
also
whatever.
As of recently, they have started streaming, which is actually very cool.
Extremely.
Can confirm. Link in the description down below. If it doesn't work, let me know. I'll fix it. But it should be work.
I think that's everything. Did I miss something, TRM?
I think we are good. We should watch some gameplay action. This is gonna be sweet. We have already posted pairings for the first round, and we're gonna watch for our first match WolfgangCloud.
That's a lie.
You have not posted pairings. I am about to post pairings right in the chat.
We are about to post pairings in the chat.
Deception.
When you set up your game, make sure that the person who is first on the list sets up the game, and the person who's second on the list joins. It'll be in the Getting Serious Vintage Queues. Our feature match is going to be Ethobach versus WolfgangCloud, and I think we've done all the tech setup for that already, right?
We're gonna the note that we have right now. There's two notes that I have to make right now, which are a bit of technical things, which is we have the overlay. We have new fancy overlays to like make sure that all the information is displayed correctly, but we didn't quite get them set up for today. So things are gonna look a little rickety. All the information is gonna be on stream, but it's gonna be better probably starting next week, or we hope so.
Our overlay guy is a little busy.
Yeah.
And I totally understand it. So.
And the other thing that is that hand cams take usually a few minutes to set up, so we're gonna have hand cams maybe like a couple minutes into the game. But outside of that, we're gonna have things going.
Feel free to go and get into your games, play some powerful magic. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck.
Sweet.
Alright, I'm gonna go play weak magic.
Go for it. All right.
Whatever magic floats your boat, man. Alright. Yeah, everybody is out of this room, yes. And I see a game underway in our channel, which means it's time to move to our live screen. There you go. Also, another update from the previous weeks, you get to see our mugs. We have cameras. Again, it's looking a little rickety today, and
look, don't worry about it too much. Right?
We're gonna look better starting next week. But we have chat on screen.
Oh, our chat is full of people. Misspelled channel under weekly tournaments. That sounds about correct.
We haven't get that fixed. Alrighty. Okay.
All right. So round 1 is between Ethobach and WolfgangCloud. Wolfgang is on Boros Battlebots, I believe. Yep. And Etho is on Esper Superfriends.
Oh.
Getting a pretty powerful start here with the
there's a Moxen. Yeah, the Moxen is always huge.
Oh no! Oh, an immediate Shadow of Doubt.
So we refer to Shadow of Doubt as Get Wrecked Scrub.
Yeah, that's real brutal. Yeah, Wolfgang plays out a land and passes. That's really rough. It's hard to play into land Mox and then pass. That's never what you want to see.
Yeah, it's really not. It's a bit of a. It's not great when that happens. Let me put it that way.
No, not what you're looking for. So
not exactly usually your favorite start there.
And then ponders. Perhaps looking for a land. I don't know what the order is supposed to look like on ponder. Like, what are you supposed to do? Play a land first or not?
You usually want to fetch after you play ponder, because you want to that allows you to get selection on which cards you are. That gives you a lot more selection in terms of which cards you are actually. You can. It lets you take one card, right? It lets you decide to only take one of the cards instead of all of them.
Duress hits Karn with the Kilt, Scion of Urza. Fetches irrigated farmland and passes. Powerful control start from Etho here. Wolfgang plays out Spinethopter. What the fuck is this card? It's a 2/1 flyer for 2.
Yeah, Spinethopter is great. It's just it's a 2/1 flyer for it.
Not bad.
It's a perfectly reasonable magic card for these strategies. Unlike if you see something like Hovermere.
You will need to adjust the window.
Yeah. I'm working on it. That is the.
Yeah. Sweet.
Basically, don't worry about it. We're working on it. It's happening. Moro is super finicky, but we are going to get things fixed in a second.
Gideon's in a tough spot here because he has pretty much no way to protect himself from this Spinethopter.
Yeah, Spinethopter is super OP.
Do you think Chad's just gonna make like 2 knights and
just make some random idiots?
No, he's gonna make 1 knight and die to this Grafted Wargear.
Grafted Wargear is the nuts. Oh my god.
Yeah. Getting an early evasive threat with high power is gonna be, I imagine, really powerful against a Superfriends strategy. A lot of Planeswalkers don't have a good way to protect themselves from flyers. Like, a lot of Planeswalkers, their protect themselves ability is making a ground blocker. Not as effective against flyers as it could be. Establishing some mana here.
Alright. Yeah, okay.
Stream is looking watchable.
Yeah. No, I need to set the hand comes up, which I'm going to presently, but I wanted to make sure that the window was lookable at before I did anything like that. But
yeah,
it's gonna.
Narset Transcendent. What does this card do? Uptakes to look at the top card. If it's a non-creature, non-land, reveal it and put it into your hand. -2 when you cast your next instant or sorcery from your hand, it gets rebound, and then -9 you get an emblem with your opponents can't cast non-creature spells, and it starts at 6 loyalty.
The emblem
takes down to
the emblem's pretty good, but I mean, Narset is another one that doesn't defend, doesn't protect herself in any way, shape, or form, which is a bit of a downfall.
Luckily, Swords comes out here, and it gets rebound from Narset's ability. So, man, that's actually kind of a sweet tempo play, because now if Wolfgang plays anything, it's just gonna get Swords, because Swords is on rebound. That's very sweet.
I mean, you usually want to actually know that you're gonna get your value from the rebound spell, but this is not bad.
Yeah, this is not particularly bad. Stoneforge. I wonder what this is gonna get. Do you think it's just like a sword or Jite? Or Batterskull even? I doubt it's gonna be Batterskull, gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I would be surprised if it's just Batterskull.
Yeah. I imagine we're just gonna see... What did he tutor for? Sophie, sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm working on hand cams, so I'm not.
Oh.
I'm only paying cursory attention to this game.
Inventor's Apprentice? Let's go! That card's so sweet.
That is a magic card. It has magic card related properties for sure.
God, I love me some Battlebots. You get to play some of the sweetest cards that you never get to play anywhere else, because you need like a density of artifacts to make it work. But in Battlebots, you're just like, you always have some equipment or artifact land rolling around. Narset ticks up and doesn't hit. That's pretty much what I expect every time I do anything with Narset.
It's fine.
A lot of these Planeswalkers have a kind of awkward property that their uptick draws a card sometimes, or draws a card most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you're looking, if you get to look at like a bunch of cards, you draw a card pretty reliably, right? But like Narset draws a card maybe like half the time, which is not definitely not as good.
Not 100%. Tapping out for Jace here. I imagine we're just gonna see Jace bounce this Inventor's Apprentice, but yeah, and it bounces up the Inventor's Apprentice in for 2. I mean, Etho's in a pretty good position. He's got 2 Planeswalkers established now, one of which can set up the other one to draw. So with no interaction from King at this point, Etho is going to very likely be drawing 2 cards a turn. Jace's Brainstorm plus putting on top a non-creature, non-land spell to put in hand with Narset. And if there is interaction, Narset can just make things rebound and get more value out of them.
If there is interaction, Narset can make sure that the interaction...
Chooses to Narset first and hits Collective Brutality. That is really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Etho has 3 cards in hand. Do you go for the blind duress here? Like, discard all the cards in your hand for drain, kill, duress?
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
I probably would, because like if you do hit with the rest, that's such a big like that's so big. But
yeah.
It's
I
mean
don't
it depends
think I
on
would
it depends on what the cards in your hand are, right? Like you can
Yeah.
probably afford to discard like a Wilkandrith.
Yeah,
What
if
is
you've
the other
gotten-
card in his hand?
What was-
So I see Gideon, Wilkandrith, and what's the other blue card?
I don't know. Just goes for the collective brutality to kill. Nothing exciting in terms of discarding cards. Just plays out Gideon in the trials. I mean, Etho has a pretty significant board state at this point.
So he does.
3 walkers is a lot. Wolfgang really needs to find some sort of haste creature or something that would allow him to push through damage and kill. Probably Jace is the most important planeswalker at this point.
Yeah,
because,
Jace is always a beating. But
But
at this point,
is close.
At this point, like the game is definitely shifting more and more into Etho's direction, right? Because
Ooh, Aethersphere Harvester's really good. Aethersphere Harvester can Chat of the Trials hit? Yeah, it hits planes permanents.
Yeah, I think it's permanent. Yeah, it can eat manlands, it slices, it dices.
Wolfgang's actually in a pretty good spot at this point. If Chad upticks on the Aethersphere Harvester, he can spin up Inkmoth and attach Grafted Wargear to it, and hit for 4, which would kill, I think, just Jace, but Jace is pretty much the highest.
Behold the hands.
Oh my god. Can I see them? I can see them. Oh, nice! It actually does not look that bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna add borders there in a second. Although I'm
Both
showing
of the
the
hands
same.
are the same is the thing.
Yeah, it's not the same on my. What is happening? What?
I gotta plug in some results.
Okay, maybe if I do this. Okay, is it better now?
Let me. And then we can actually count on this game. Oh, you can see my mug. Yes, we can see both hands. Perfect.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird Streamlabs glitch, honestly, but
yeah,
we got there. It's fine.
Etho plays out Saheeli. Man, he doesn't have any way to deal with the flyers yet, though. Like with Wolfgang establishing 2 flyers in Inkmoth and Aethersphere Harvester. Does it even matter?
Sorry. Okay. I put us on the in between rounds thing.
Whoops.
Clearly not what I wanted to do.
I am looking at something. Maybe. No, I'm not. Okay. Soren, Lord of Innistrad. That's the one that makes vampires and then...
he makes vampires with lifelink, or he makes emblems that pump your team.
One of Jace and Soren is going to die. Or it can die, because there's not going to be any interaction for it. Wolfgang still has this Sophie in hand. I don't know if... Plays out Thopter Engineer? What's the line? Oh, making the Thopter and then equipping.
What is the blue card in Wolfgang's hand? I keep looking.
Oh, that's Capture of Jingzhou. Take an extra turn.
Oh, it's Capture of Jingzhou.
6.
Okay, yeah.
Very
good. That makes sense. Sorry, I've been staring at that card.
No, I understand. I recognize it from my time with blue-green taking turns. Great deck. Yeah.
Okay, so if I
sort of just a stumbling start from Wolfgang has left him in a pretty bad position against Superfriends. Superfriends definitely feels like one of those decks that's very snowball-y, as in like once you establish 2 or more planeswalkers, usually you can just spend the counters from one or the other, like around the place, to make sure that none of your planeswalkers are threatened and everybody stays at a high loyalty count.
I mean, planeswalkers are just card advantage machines, right? Like the more you leave them on the battlefield, the more they just stay there and generate advantage. And if you don't kill them or your opponent, they're just gonna keep going. And we see like having 5 planeswalkers, even if they each individually don't do like a billion things, but they just slowly generate a bunch of advantage over and over. And
it's sort of like the idea of the pingers deck. Like 1 pinger is 1 damage a turn, but 2 pingers suddenly becomes 2 damage to any target a turn, which is like an immense amount more.
It's a lot of planeswalkers.
Yeah, it's a pretty insurmountable amount of planeswalkers at this point.
Yeah,
I think
planeswalkers deck is a time walk. But...
I think we're gonna have a tough time coming back from this game, especially with Narset. Goodness, what is that noise?
That was me ramaging in a paper bag, and I'm sorry about it.
If Narset gives this Capture of Jingzhou rebound, then we're gonna get to... Right?
That is a lot of turns.
Yeah, Gideon is going to be able to attack in for 4 twice. Saheeli can make servos into copies of Gids, I believe.
No. Or you shouldn't.
No, once it becomes a creature.
They'd still be legendary.
Oh, no, that's...
So no, you shouldn't.
Yeah, they're gonna be legendary non-animated Gideons if they become.
So you could. You could. I wouldn't.
Opt to not play the capture and instead plays Will Kenrith. Seen this planeswalker before, but I don't know what he does.
Throw some cards and does stuff.
Makes 2 creatures into 0/3s with no ability.
Yeah, he actually has a pretty big ability to control the board, is the thing, right? Because it can take 2 creatures and be like, no, it's fine.
-2, target player draws 2 cards. Until your next turn, instant sorcery and planeswalker spell cast costs 2 less to cast. What?
Look, 6 is a lot of mana for a planeswalker.
Wow!
6
Card's
is definitely
really good.
6 is a lot of mana for a planeswalker, and the question is, like, are you getting the bang for your buck? Because, like, if you look at planeswalkers that are 6 mana, right? Like, I can think of one that I think you are 100% getting everything that, like, definitely your money's worth, and that's Elspeth Sun's Champion. And I don't know if you have read Elspeth Sun's Champion, but it happens to be complete nuts.
Messed up, yeah. So Will Kenrith can effectively token, which puts Wolfgang in a weird spot where if he uses Inkmoth Nexus, the most damage he can get in is 4, and doing so will kill his Thopter, which is pretty rough. Plays out Sophie, probably just gonna equip Sophie and swing in.
I mean, honestly, the thing that makes I think Will Kenrith good is mostly that his ability to control the board is kind of insane. He is very capable of just taking a board and be like, 2 creatures don't matter, and then especially, you know, you can bubble something with Gideon and shrink 2 things with Wheel, and then in the meantime your Narset makes you take 78 turns.
Well, yeah, at this
there's
point,
some stuff going on.
I imagine we're just going to see Will draw 2 cards, Narset's going to rebound, we're going to take a turn, we're going to do some stuff with the other cards we have in our hand, we're going to go to the next turn, we're going to take another turn, draw 2 more cards, and at that point the game's just going to be completely over.
I think that this game has been mostly over for a while, to be perfectly honest, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Saheeli is gonna get to make like a billion servos to chomp
way
with.
Too many servos.
Like even just a planeswalker, even just a time walk is 2 servos.
Yeah, and that's like a lot.
Narset can even ultimate pretty soon. We're gonna probably see her go down to take a few turns, but like she would just be like, we're done. Let's stop this whole non-creature spell malarkey. Let's just do the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, we could also see Narset downtick and then take 2 extra turns and uptick Will and go for like the Will-Ken result, which is copying every instant sorcery spell you cast.
Forever, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, at which point
you know what that's good with, by the way?
What's
Time
that good
walks.
with? Yeah, it's pretty powerful time walks. Gonna play out Soren, Solemn Visitor. Other Soren, one who has not died.
Oh.
Thoughtseize in hand versus 0 card. Not where you want to be, but Chad's gonna become a 4/4.
It's not why you put Thoughtseize in your hand, for sure.
Definitely not why you put Thoughtseize.
In your deck,
What
I guess.
Soren can uptick to give everything you control lifelink.
I think +1/+0 and lifelink until your next turn, and down things to make a Windrake.
Yeah, the downtick to make a Windrake is really good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty powerful. Like that's a whole creature right there. You just get it.
You can beginning each opponent's upkeep that player sacrifices a creature.
Finally seeing his capture.
Yeah.
We're finally seeing this capture, but did Narset downtick
Did not
beforehand?
downtick the Narset. I think he just wants to like go up with the Narset and ult the Narset.
I mean, ulting the Narset would be a fair assessment.
The question is, would you rather have an Narset emblem or just like? Would you rather have an Narset emblem or another activation of all your 78 planeswalkers? And I think it's close. Narset emblem is quite powerful.
I'm a bigger fan of just taking up more of your planeswalkers.
I like taking up more of the planeswalkers, especially in this board state where
yeah,
you're basing a high feature deck.
Will draw you a bunch of cards if you do that, which is quite good. So that's definitely.
Well, so the other thing is, he had just a very close to a kill line there, I believe. With Narset downtick, you get 2, and then Soren pumps your guys, and you get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. With lifelink, and then you take another turn, or no, you get in for 9 plus Chad. Yeah, and so had he taken 2 turns there, Chad could just become a 4/4, and then get pumped by Soren, and then everybody crunches in for a total of 14 twice over 2 turns, and then the game would just be over.
I mean, this game is pretty over regardless.
Yeah, I would not say that the game is in contention right now.
Like, the thing is that it's not even just that, like, there's an overwhelming advantage in terms of permanence on Wolfgang's board. He has 20 life. Your opponent's playing an aggro deck.
Yeah, I definitely think the early stumble with getting Shadows doubted is what turned this game into not a game. Like, having played a ton of aggro, not being able to establish, a 2/1 for 1 on turn 1 or play a 2/2 on curve puts you in really bad position. You need to get the ball rolling as soon as possible, and missing like this by getting your Scalding Tarn essentially stifled is really bad, like extremely bad.
It was worse than just Stifle. It was Stifle Cantrip.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that he got to even draw a card.
It's like, oh, nice land. I'm gonna destroy it and draw a card.
Yeah, that's awful.
How is that real?
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that Etho needs to be thinking about ending the game sometime soon. Yeah. Just continuing to put more permanents on the battlefield and making more is just like, it's not just a waste of time, it's also setting yourself up for a scenario where your opponent could just get extremely lucky and you could misplay and then you lose because the game went on.
I just realized that I had to play. I kept referring to Wolfgang.
Terminus?
I don't know if I would have cast that Terminus there. It's not super necessary.
I would have.
Yeah.
You don't care about your servos, you care about your opponent's creature, I think.
Well, I at least would have attacked with everything before doing that.
I mean, it was miracled, right?
Yeah, it was miracle. Huh.
I see a bunch of mana that was tapped there. I thought that came off the Narset.
Oh, maybe it did. Jake
You can
Nash,
take off the
just DM the results to Eloquen, or me, but Eloquen is better, and we are going to enter them. I mean, he's running the tournament, the scorekeeping part of the tournament. I'm running tech, so
yeah,
it's probably better to send stuff to him. Just
activate Smush's Factory. Probably gonna activate Inkmoth Nexus too. No, cruise up the Aether Harvester. Fair enough.
Probably puts a sword on it.
I mean, there's kind of no reason not to. You can maybe kill a Planeswalker here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he might be able to heal Saheeli or Will or Soren.
Well, no, if he swings in and hits his opponent, he can
shoot Will.
Yeah, shoot Will and draw a card.
Yeah, getting for 5, shoot Will, draw a card. That's pretty good.
Or
swing.
throw the ink off at Soren and they shoot Soren with the sword.
I mean, or he could equip Grafted War Gear to the Inkmoth Nexus and kill Soren outright.
And then lose the Inkmoth Nexus.
You lose the Nexus in the problem.
I mean,
but
he's
that
got
might be
5
worth it.
land.
But the Nexus is a threat.
Nexus is a threat, yeah, but I don't know.
But yeah, this is actually, yeah. I mean, Wolfgang.
Yeah, this is a pretty excruciating game.
This was a good one for Wolfgang. I don't think he's like back in it, but oh yeah, I mean, I guess he needs to also run damage control on the Narset because she might ultimate, which would also be bad.
How devastating is an ultimate against this deck?
I mean,
a lot of creatures.
Etho has 5 Planeswalkers in play.
This deck seems like a lot of creatures.
That's a lot.
I mean, I'm sure. I know that. I mean, I'm sure that he has a lot of creatures, but it probably also has like a lot of equipment. So we'll see 2 on the board right now. Like it is an artifact deck. I mean,
yeah.
The Narset, it's not at its best, but it does something.
Soren's just gonna make a vampire.
Soren makes an idiot.
Get its down 6 on Aether Harvester, plays a land, and pass.
Optics on it.
Yeah. Wolfgang is in a tough spot, but I mean, it's not looking like Etho is angling to win the game anytime. So, just raw plays Batterskull. If this eats a counterspell, yeah, at this point I would probably concede.
See, for example, Batterskull, non-creature spells.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So
I would like to give a shout out to that one poison counter that Etho has.
Yeah, nice.
He has had for like I think approximately 78 hours at this point, and it's just been chilling there. Good job, poison counter. You hang in there.
Etho can get in for exactly 13 if he swings in with everything. So he's probably gonna hit with the servo and hang back.
Yeah, I
for
think
one
that's
more turn and then kill.
I mean, again, this game has been all sorts of over for a while. But I think it actually. Okay. Well, this is one of the things that it's actually more important for Magic Online rather than other tournaments, rather than like Xmage. Etho has 9 minutes left on the clock.
Yep.
And Wolfgang has 15, which means it's in Wolfgang's interest to keep playing because that makes it more like. It's just that like. It's not like he's like, being annoying or stalling, but there is no reason not to make Etho have it.
Right,
and
exactly,
then,
which should happen this turn based on this.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
but yeah, making him have it means that he actually has to end the game, or he spends clock time.
Yeah, he has to spend clock time, which is valuable because then he's gonna have to win another game in 9 minutes or lose.
Eugene seems like a pretty greedy play for a deck that.
Yeah, against a deck that doesn't really have a whole lot of colored permanents.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big.
It's a lightning bolt out with it.
It is a bunch of lightning bolts. That's true. But yeah, currently Wolfgang control exactly 0 colored permanents.
Yeah. Gonna make... He's gonna get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Only 4 of it's
gonna
gonna
block
get
the
through, but
Mystery
only...
Spectre.
Yeah.
Well, gonna block
One
the
of
Mystery Harvester, I imagine.
So 8.
So only 4 of it's getting through.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7 is still lethal.
Yeah, there was still the other then, but
Yeah.
Oh.
Choosing not to make Gideon into...
I don't know.
why.
He
I
didn't
don't know
need
the
it.
reason behind not doing it.
I mean, I don't think he needed it, you know? Huh?
Why is...
Oh,
Oh,
Wolfgang
why-
had that.
Hither's as far as there can gain life. Wasn't the
Wolfgang had
Hither's
that.
Harvester bubbled?
No, because he did
No.
not going to Gideon.
did the
Oh,
line?
wow. He didn't do anything with Gideon?
Gideon didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Oh, wow. That was... Well...
Now he's just spending more and more clock time.
Yeah,
Another
but
minute
he's
gone.
down to 8.
Gonna kill the Ethersphere Harvester. This is like... It's not looking like a game that Wolfgang's gonna win, but he's definitely putting Etho in a really rough spot for game 2, and God forbid game 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
If this goes to game 3, Wolfgang probably
Yeah.
wins.
I mean, Wolfgang is not doing, like, if Etho starts picking up his pace in terms of clock, Wolfgang has 40 minutes, he's not, like, swimming in clock time, but he definitely
I mean,
has a significant
14 minutes is
advantage,
a whole lot more than 8.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially for an aggro deck versus control deck.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that like, if you're the aggro deck here, you're happy with 14 minutes. I would be happy with 8 minutes, but being able to have the entire 14 makes it really good to, tank on your lines and stuff. Gids
Depends on
up
my
next.
matchup if I care, but it depends on my matchup if I like Hellbent or not.
Narset ults, sure.
I finally got there.
Huh. I'm not sure how I feel about these extremely expensive planeswalkers in a deck that doesn't look to have that much acceleration, but maybe
by
it just
the
doesn't
way,
matter.
just letting you know, but as of about 10 minutes ago, Injunjo got here, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have
Perfect.
him for the next round. Just,
Got there.
let me know that's happening.
I'm going to make...
This is, as far as I can tell, the only round that is still going.
draw. It is.
That seems reasonable.
Okay.
And we are in game 1. All right.
Now Wolfgang's going to compete. Alright. Moving on to game 2 here.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So
Finally.
this was a whole thing.
Yeah, I think that what really sealed the fate for that game was the early Shadow of Doubt. I
Yeah,
think
the
had
Shadow
that
of Doubt
not
was pretty
happened,
brutal.
and Etho could have gotten onto the battlefield with multiple creatures, we would have seen a much different game. Both players taking a few mulligans here. Wolfgang's going down to 5? That's really rough. I'm gonna play out this Mistress Factory. Preordain.
Alright, so what do we think of our player's opening hand?
I-
Wolfgang has 5 cards, which is not ideal.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be.
On the other hand, Etho's hand doesn't do a whole lot. He has some early interaction in Tyrant's Corn.
Oh no, Rugged
Wolfgang can't-
Prairies.
Yeah, you
Very-
can't cast any of those spells.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that sucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
if this Mystic Confluence gets to do his thing, though, that is
This
not
Rugged
gonna
Prairie
be
is not
ideal. Yeah,
generating-
it's the downside of playing this filter lands sometimes.
Oh no, Tyrant Scorn.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's a straight mine.
Oh, it happens again. The
It's like
colors.
opponent plays a blue-black two cost spell that kills
Yeah,
one of the lands. Like, apparently, Etho has multiple instants in his deck that cost that are both blue and black and cost 2 mana and kill lands. Who knew?
Yeah, these kind of games are why the format has a mulligan right now that isn't the Vancouver, because like, Wolfgang mulled a 5
Yeah.
and found 2 lands that only generate colorless mana.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Pirate Spellbomb, which has been an absolute homie by being castable in Wolfgang's deck.
Yeah,
in Wolfgang's
absolutely.
hand. Good job, good job. Oh yeah, Maze of Ith. No, okay, sorry, that's Buried Ruin. Never mind. I thought it was a Maze of Ith. I was like, great, another hand that doesn't make mana. Although Maze of Ith still doesn't make any colors, which is a problem.
Yeah, right. Buried Ruin is not doing it. Draws a card with Pirates Bill 1.
Yeah.
What are we going to see drawn?
Okay. Mishra's Workshop.
This cast says...
Thank God, another...
Red champion.
Another land that does not generate any...
A champion notably currently...
At least you didn't cast a spell.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, a champion does not have Metalcraft right now, so I'm assuming that it's gonna...
Wasteland! Oh, God!
Okay, this LD angle is kind of brutal.
Yeah, the LD angle is just
like,
real.
I don't think that's something that Ethos deck can do reliably, but...
Whew.
And
when
honestly,
it happens, though.
Putting a Wasteland in your 3-color deck is kind of ballsy, but I admire your courage, Etho, and it's pain.
Ghostfire Blade.
Oh, Ghostfire Blade is an interesting include. That's
gets countered. Yeah, Ghostfire Blade's a little weird in the deck because like a surprisingly high number of your creatures are just, you know, white or red
based on the cards in hand.
Yeah,
I mean, especially in this one.
Yeah,
but it's still a pretty powerful card. Like even like look at Pia, right? Pia, yeah, Pia's red, but she's gonna make a Kieran and she's gonna make, you know, Kieran Nalaar's brother or whatever.
Mr. Confluence.
Confluence is gonna counter draw, I imagine.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe counter draw Bounce. Yeah.
Just get the thing back in their hand. He can't recast it.
Yeah.
Have you heard the theory that Kieran Nalaar is a 1/1 Thopter with flying?
That's actually pretty funny.
It's like, if you look at the card Pia and Kieran Nalaar, it costs 2 red, and it's a 2/2, and it comes to play and makes 2 Thopters. And Pia Nalaar,
that's really
it's 2 in the head, and then it's a 2/2, it makes 1 Thopter, so there is 1 Thopter worth of difference. That's Kieran Nalaar. Died. R.I.P. Kieran Nalaar.
Luckily,
miss you.
Luckily for Etho, he's actually going to end the game event with his hand.
It looks like Etho's hand is capable of...
Only time
hard cast forcible.
Only time you'll ever see hard cast forcible targeting Spinewalker.
I mean, I hard cast forcible pretty often. I'm happier when I hard cast forcible than when I have the alternative.
No, I mean,
hard cast targeting Spinethopter.
Targeting Spinethopter.
Yes, that's a more rare side. Yeah. But I think at this point, Etho is just in the mode of, I'll counter whatever they do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's over.
Like, I only need, like, a couple of turns. This Gideon is gonna get there. And then next turn, probably, Tiny Teferi is gonna come in. And if there is anything that can block... If there is anything that can block on Wolfgang's side, Tiny Teferi is gonna come in and bounce it. And it's gonna be all she wrote.
Yeah. You know, these early mana stumble starts...
Oh, another
Tomb activates and the game is over. Yeah, that was really rough. Early mana stumbles can, especially for aggro decks, are very, very like had he drawn lands, the game was already over.
It wasn't just a stumble, right? It was an assisted stumble. There was
right, yeah.
I mean, there was never a hard force drawn in that game.
Whoa, you okay there?
It's fine. I've been dying for like the last couple of weeks. It's not great, but it's
yeah, you know, that's not what you want to see. Well, the first round went off without a hitch, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, it took some time to like get all the stream set up, but outside of that, we mostly got there. So pretty happy about that one.
So let me write out our pairings for the next round, and I can tell you what our feature match is going to be.
Awesome! Yeah, let's do this. This was some great magic. We got.
Yeah, we got to see some pretty cool stuff.
All right, so
Let me mute myself so I am not typing extremely loud directly into your ear.
And I'm just gonna be typing extremely loud directly into your ears because I want to write I want to tell Injun Joe to hurry up and join the voice channel, and to tell Spicy and Gozmit. Just so that we can have them back. Impression for players. Everybody that is done with round 1, which is everybody. What's your impression? How did round 1 go? What's your impression? How did things work out and all of the jazz?
Real quick.
It was one of those games, eh?
I didn't even go into 5 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely saw that your match result came in real fast.
I mean, we're just taking a match in the background for fun.
I'm really glad I wasn't on camera.
Is this?
My
I
match
don't know
was
if you
actually
actually
very
noticed
interesting.
that changed.
Excuse me?
We had a good grindy first match, and then round 2, I had the colorless land problem.
I gotta say, I got to live the dream and get all the way with Triskadekaphobia in one of my games. And the other game was defined by turn 1 Black Vice that I think went about 14 damage or something like that.
Those are some spicy ones. Nice.
Black Vice is definitely underrated, I still think. Against control, it's just so good.
Yeah, it's definitely a real threat. Like not a fan of seeing that card on the other side of the battlefield when I'm playing Blue Moon, which is always.
Yeah. All right, so I have the pairings for the next round. Is everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Hopefully this goes.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, let's get this party underway. This is exciting. Let's do this.
Pairings for round 2 are in chat. Remember, the first person on the list is going to set up a vintage challenge in Getting Serious with round 2, and then the player's name that they're playing against. Our feature match, Barbells and Croc, if you could both connect.
And I'm assuming we should just join a voice chat, and then I'm gonna be joining you and help you set up the hand cams.
Yes. How will the stream hear me if we are not in the same voice chat?
That is a good question that I did not think about. So how about they don't join a different voice chat and we set hand cams up, and then gonna mute myself in the stream, so I can still hear you while you do your thing, but I can talk to them.
Yes.
Yeah, and just ignore anything that I say, basically. All right, let's get this party started.
Man, round 1 was a rough one for a couple of our players. The feature match especially was pretty rough. Stumbling on mana early is just, you get punished for that pretty hard overall. So I have both of the players' lists, but I don't want to talk about it because they're here, so I'm not going to.
Should we join a different chat?
No. They need to be able to hear me. I mean,
do they?
That entertaining. Do they though? Yeah, well, I am really happy with the turnout for this event overall. I mean, like 10 people is a lot. 9 people is a huge amount. And in future, I imagine we can get even more people because I know there are a ton of Moto players around, and I think that several of them are free right now and just aren't like here playing. So yeah, it's nice to see a big Moto turnout. I hope that we get to continue to do this, and it doesn't like
Oh yeah, how
fall
do I
apart.
turn on screen sharing as opposed to like my face? Here we go.
This is cool.
Yeah, I assume it works, and that you can easily identify whether mine works by the horribly distorted image of a dog.
Let's go to it.
He's got the dog? Okay.
Tommy?
Fantastic. Let me see if everybody's joined a different chat.
Hey.
All right, TRM is just me and you in one chat.
All right, and I'm back. Let's.
You see my match in the lobby?
So, our 2 players are playing. Barbells is on 4-color control. I believe he's on check pile, but let me check. He's on.
That would be a bummer.
Yeah, no white, which I believe is check pile.
Yeah, check pile is no white.
Look that up.
True. Do you
And
know if
then
we can start playing?
Croc is on Sorensen.
Oh,
Blue-green Sorensen.
that's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, this is dope.
All right, so what are the kind of things that the tempo players look against control?
I mean, the matchup is kind of in the tempo player's favor. I know that both hands are the same on screen right now. I want to figure out which dex is which before.
Yeah.
Starting either way.
Sorry,
Croc
you said...
should be on tempo, which is, I think, the player that's closest to us, but I'm not.
Can the
sure.
people in the Hangouts call please mute themselves in the Hangouts call? Because I'm hearing
Can you hear them like chatting?
Yeah, I'm
That's
hearing them
hilarious.
chatting, which is not
Open with
ideal.
green cool windswept heat.
I'm hoping they also can hear me. Oh no, they can't hear me. I can probably just mute them though.
Yeah, just mute them up. So interesting early hands from. I mean, exactly, Rock, which I believe is our tempo player. Yeah, he's got a Force of Will in hand, which is, I mean, it may be important in the control matchup. I'm not entirely sure. To be honest.
Fact that both of these players have breathing pool is making it very hard for me to figure out whose hands is which. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the player.
The one that's all blue cards and that has the Trigon Predator is Croc, for sure.
Okay. And then Croc is the one that has the expedition. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Plays out a Goyf in control. Haven't seen this one for a while.
I mean, it's a good blocker.
Draws Deprive. So Croc's in actually a really good position with this true name. He can establish just the island now and wait. And then he has cycle or use miscalc. And then the turn after that, he gets to fetch, play land, fetch, play out true name, and defend it with force, which is just about the strongest defense you can get. And Leovold's just gonna eat, complicate here, condescend. Pardon me.
Shouts to Complicate, which is a counter that is completely unplayable, but I've always liked it.
I love it. I love it too much. I really hope it. Seeing not a whole lot
I've been so close to playing that card in Blue Moon, but it's just not good enough.
Dismember. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Croc can just play out True Name, which I think is undeniably your best line. True Name is pretty hard to beat a lot of the time, and definitely takes over the game. So we'll see how Croc pivots this into a win.
All right, we got the hand cam set up.
Yeah, and
I hope that they got the right players, but
Barbells plays nothing because he doesn't really have anything to do.
So to be clear, just for my peace of mind, the player with Force of Will in hand is the same player that controls True Name Nemesis. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's Croc.
Yes.
Okay, good. Just making sure that.
Croc chooses not to play out Trigon Predator.
Interesting. I mean, I guess it doesn't have any targets, but and there is Val. Like You already have a threat, I guess, but this true name.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that...
This true name can't raise the Goyf, is the thing, right? Like...
Yeah, if you try to raise the Goyf, you'll lose. Fetch. Draws a Terra.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's... I want to send you guys a picture of my streaming setup, because, like, I'm streaming from my work right now, and it's just... So we disassembled one of our... So you remember the room that we were talking about the other day, the one that controls the black hole that is probably not gonna eat the entire world?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Is a vote of confidence. This member is gonna beat Miscalc here, or no, Deprive. Brings the land back.
Yeah. So we moved it. We moved that room to. We moved all the equipment to a different room, and in the move, one of the old monitoring stuff, we just was like, oh, we don't need this anymore because this experiment has been dismantled.
Stack here.
There is a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So dismember targets the Trigon, which gets deprived. Spell Snare targets the deprive, and Spell Snare got Force of Will, which means that our Trigon Predator stays alive at the end of the interaction.
Yeah.
Croc may have less cards in hand, but he has a much superior board position at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and he does have a treasure cruise to refuel.
Yeah, the other thing is he's got a good...
Yeah, although this Abrupt Decay can just take care of the Trigon Predator.
Yeah. Trigon Predator is not going to stick around forever.
Yeah, and
but...
the Goyf is... So actually this is... I think this is a hand of like... oh god. Not Croc's position. Names exist. Barbells position here, to be perfectly honest. He's gonna be able to counterspell this treasure cruise, making sure that that the card advantage stays in his position. This Trigon Predator is gonna eat an abrupt. He's gonna eat an abrupt. Ooh, Mystic Confluence. Okay, never mind. I don't like his position as much anymore.
Dismembers.
Yeah,
dismembers the Goyf. And at this point. Pardon?
Which member?
Oh, which member? This member.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, no. So like, now he doesn't. Now he's losing the race, right? Like Croc is back in a position where the tempo that wants to be, where he's ahead on board and can leverage his powerful, his powerful cards. And this True Name Nemesis is gonna be very hard to interact. We're gonna see Mystic Confidence just in Jace's Ingenuity mode.
Draw 3.
I think he just wanted to hit a land drop.
Yeah.
So.
What do we find off a Mystic?
Starless Tracker, Snapcaster, Mage Land. What are these targets for Snapcaster?
Spell Snare, Dismember, Brainstorm.
Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay is pretty good.
Yeah, Abrupt Decay is a pretty good one.
Counterspell's also pretty decent.
Yeah.
The problem is that he's still losing the race, right? Like
3 damage a turn is a lot, yeah.
Like he's still losing to this True Name Nemesis. He needs to find an answer to it, and this Hostage Taker is good, but it ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Hostage Taker takes Jace. And
he gets to immediately has Jace, which is pretty good. But how many answers to True Name Nemesis are even in his deck?
Probably
1,
not that
2,
many. I think
3?
at this point. Yeah, I think at this point Barbells needs to pivot in the game before Croc does, because if he doesn't, this True Name's gonna kill him in 4 turns.
But I think that you can't raise the True Name.
I think
like,
you don't have
raising
another
True Name
choice.
Nemesis doesn't work. I think you need to dig for answers. Okay, I'm actually gonna check. How many ways does Barbell have?
Oh no! The Jace interaction!
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, so when Jace flips, he exiles himself and then returns to the battlefield transformed.
Under its opponent's control. It's specifically the opponent's control. Under owner's control.
Owner's control, yeah. That's really rough.
So I'm gonna check how many. I mean, I think that this is probably gonna cost the game, but I'm gonna check how many ways to answer a resolved True Name Nemesis does Barbell have. And we have decklist, so I can do it. And just do that. Barbells, by the way, shout out to Barbells, which was the very first person to answer SpicyNapalm.
Yeah. Okay, let me send you just both of the deck. in a
No,
deal.
I have them in the poll. I'm just picking them up from the poll.
It's already there. It's already done. Too late. Nerd.
Well, I mean, I'm already opening it up, so...
Abrupt Decay is the Jace, but, I mean, that's an Abrupt Decay that couldn't have hit something more meaningful.
Yeah. Like a true name Nemesis.
At this point, Croc is going to die in 2 turns, and his opponent's going to die in 3. But Croc does have 5 cards in hand? Good
That's
lord.
many magic cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so
plays
he has
Gush.
Pernicious Deed, can answer the true name Nemesis. Engineered Explosive can answer the true name Nemesis.
EE hits True Name, really?
Oh
I just
yeah,
don't
it
know
doesn't,
the interaction.
it doesn't target.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you EE for 3, that's gonna do it.
Man, Croc can't attack with the True Name at this point, because he's just going to lose the race.
Oh, he's gonna lose the... Oh yeah, because this Snapcaster.
Yeah, because the Snapcaster.
And now Barbells is kind of like that. Just puts Barbell back in the driving seat, more or less. Phantasmal Image doesn't answer the true name, but it's pretty good when your opponent has one.
It's pretty sick, yeah. I think... Well, no, let me look at this. If Croc attacks with True Name there, his opponent goes to 6. And then, if his opponent swings back with everything, he can swing in the Treetop Village. But if Barbells plays any creature at that point, he just loses.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So...
Treetop Village
Okay.
does change the math a little.
Yeah. Toxic Deluge can answer the true name. It's another one.
Ooh, is he playing Marsh Casualties? Please tell me.
He's not playing Marsh Casualty.
Oh, I love
And
Marsh Casualties.
and Damnation. Those are the 4 cards in
Yeah,
his deck
Damnation
that are
works.
capable of answering True Name Nemesis. Outside of you make a Phantasmal Image, copy their True Name Nemesis, and then Maelstrom Pulse your Phantasmal Image. No, that destroy any. Never mind.
Gonna
So
Spellseeker for Ancestral.
those are 4 cards in his deck that can do that.
Wow.
Also,
is,
worth mentioning, Barbells is playing Time Twister.
Is Barbells just gonna win the game? Like, he can't attack through the True Name Nemesis, but...
Yeah, so the thing is that he's putting more and more stuff to the board, and but these means all of his ways to answer the true name will kill everything. I
Croc
guess
just
if he has
finds a land.
exactly Toxic Deluge, the Hostage Taker gets to stick around, but
Right.
then the Treetop Village is the biggest threat, right? So
Chooses to swing in with Treetop Village back on defense. Sure. I don't know that I like this line out of Croc.
I mean,
Like-
Treetop can block any of Croc's creature, of Barbell's creatures. Right?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, I don't like this line very much because your opponent has Lipdaw's Kanta, and you know he put an Ancestral in his hand recently. And so, like, if your opponent draws an answer to a creature, which is a lot of cards, then this Treetop Village can no longer effectively block, and instead you get Strip Mine. So I don't like leaving the Treetop Village back on defense because of the likelihood that it gets blown out by something.
Yeah, let's see if this was Kanta finds something. We're gonna probably see it activate here.
Yeah.
I've been
Spins
playing. Sorry. So I've been playing a lot of Standard on Arena recently, just because it turns out that I can't afford to just pay for drafting, so I need to actually grind to get. Anyway, it's my drafting addiction is not the point here. I've been playing a lot more Standard on Arena recently, and so the deck that I have been playing has been Esper Control.
Right, which is good.
And it's a good deck. And Ascanta is an absolute homie in that deck. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that-
nuts.
Oh, Ascanta's a messed up Magic card.
Like, that card is so good.
Croc's gonna ponder here, I imagine.
Hmm.
Because, like, here's the thing. If Croc finds... His opponent definitely has a counter squall, which means that he can really only effectively cast a creature. But there's no... If his opponent counter squalls his Ponder, he feels fine about it. And if he doesn't cast Ponder at all, then matter. So I feel like there's no reason not to cast Ponder. I'm dumb. He'll lose life off a counter squall.
Yeah, Counter Squall does cause...
Wow.
Yeah, Counter Squall does Domio for 2.
Let me look. Croc might go for a risky line here,
Yeah,
which
this
is...
game is nuts. This is so close.
Yeah, he might go for a risky line here where he hacks in with True Name and just hopes his opponent doesn't have anything to deal with Top Village and doesn't draw anything off of Ancestral.
Or
next turn.
Ascanta.
Right. In which case, he'll just win the game. But I am going to advocate a more calculated with blocking with the True Name, which could probably take out Snapcaster.
The problem is that if you want to just sit back, the longer that this game goes, the longer
Spins up
the better Barbells is doing.
Has
right?
Croc done the math? Oh, he's going for the risky line, but he's swinging in with
all.
Just
I mean, Treetop is gonna if they want to block with Treetop, it still trades with Tireless, right? Barbells cannot crack 2 clues, so it still trades with a threat, right? And
yeah,
now
I guess
it actually
Barbells is forced to block. You're right.
Yeah, and and the thing is, if you don't do this, actually, Barbells can crack a clue now, crack a clue next turn, and now the Tireless Head doesn't trade anymore. It just eats the it's a Treetop village. So this is actually a very good. This is actually a very good line for him. But now we're gonna have.
I like this line a lot.
Yeah, actually, this is Croc is getting there. We'll see if this Ascanta flips.
I mean, if Barbells finds a bolt, the game's over. But
yeah, a bolt or like Toxic
Deluge.
Oh no, Toxic Deluge doesn't do it anymore. But like an answer to True Name, there are Toxic Deluge doesn't do it anymore, but there are still 3 in the deck.
I mean, gonna swing in. I guess you have to just hope you find something off of this.
So he has Ancestral Vision coming up, and then.
Well, the game's over though. He's dead to True Name if he can't find a way to block it.
Why didn't he activate Ascanta on his turn? All of his answers to True Name are sorceries.
I do not know.
Yeah, this might have been a punt.
Yeah, I mean, if he finds the bolt here, it's looking pretty good. Oh, Cryptic Tap Draw. Oh no!
Oh, Cryptic Tap.
Ooh. Choosing now. Here's the thing: if he was gonna do this, he should have done it in the upkeep to avoid Croc potentially drawing an extra card. But it doesn't matter because the line's sick anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it ended up not mattering, but yeah, upkeep should have been.
This is a close game.
Yeah, this was nuts.
Does Croc have anything? Croc has Remand in hand, but it's gonna eat the Counter Squall for sure.
Plus, he can just recast the Cryptic. He has enough mana to do that. Right?
Oh,
he has
wow.
78 mana, so Cryptic can get cast again.
Yeah, Ponder can bait out the Counter Squall, and then he can bounce the Counter Squall with Remand, draw a card, and then draw a card for Ponder to maybe find something.
I'm sorry for the typing noises, but
Or no, he remands his own Ponder back to hand. Counter Squall gets countered. Gonna cast his own Ponder again. Now what? Oh, I am deep into this game at this point.
Yeah, no, this game is great.
Really close.
Also, I'd like to point out, we keep selecting for streaming games that are incredibly long, and we're not doing that for... like, this is the second game one that takes forever, but...
Scooz is... Okay, if you're blocking with Scooz here, do you block... No!
Kolaghan's Command? Yeah,
and
okay,
it's over.
but at the
Kolaghan's Command was drawn off of Cryptic's draw.
Wow, this game...
Wow.
Down to literally the last...
That's like the reason that control decks can really claw their way back into games. Man. Whew. Whew. Okay.
Yeah, wow, this was insanity. Oh, we're already down for game 2. We see a pretty, okay.
Pretty,
Croc's hand is like your typical Sorensen hand. It has a threat with Inquirion Dryad, and then like Mana Leak to like keep it down, Mana Leak and Daze to keep it down for a while. Barbells' hand is kinda terrible, but
hey man.
No, okay.
I don't disagree.
Actually, he can force the Quirion Dryad and then puts him in a pretty good spot.
Force is probably gonna get dazed, I imagine.
Oh yeah, daze exists.
Yeah, hands like this where you have like a threat, you snowball into, you know, longer term benefits.
Does he have an island? Yeah, he has Breeding Pool, right?
Force is gonna get dazed. That's so brutal.
Yeah, that is really bad. Now I think that this game is kind of over, honestly.
Yeah, that kind of tempo.
Well, okay,
and then,
so it's not really
Barbells
over.
doesn't have anything else, right? Like,
well, Barbells has a Sylvan Library. If the Sylvan Library digs him into like an Abrupt Decay or something, this game is back to being a real game.
Yeah.
Tainted
I don't
Pact could find Abrupt Decay.
Though, that's what happened.
No.
He's
This game is in no way over.
Holding Leak in hand.
Like, if he goes for the Jace, Jace is gonna get mana drained.
Chooses to attack with Quirion Dryad and then pass?
Yeah, I think that's a correct line. You just want to protect your threat. That's how this.
Oh, he's got the mana leak in hand, right?
Yeah. This is how these tempo decks work. Like you play one threat and then you protect it as long as you possibly feasibly can.
I did not see that he had a counterspell.
He has Leak and Force Spike.
Yeah. Well, they're just gonna play land in with Quirion Dryad again.
Okay, now he has the Force Spike, so he decides to develop with Jace. Because
which is a line that's gonna get punished by his opponent having
drain. Oh, he doesn't go for drain.
Not to drain.
So here is the thing: he had Tainted Pact for Toxic Deluge, or something like that.
Tainted Pact being an instant speed DT.
Yeah, so if he packs for a Wrath here, I'm hoping that he, the hope like well, he needs to go for a 3 mana Wrath. So Deed or Deluge and not Damnation.
Yeah.
I guess Engineered Explosives also works. But he cannot go for, like, if he finds Damnation first, that's actually really bad for him.
Yeah, EE would be a good line.
So, okay.
Notion Thief, sweet.
Yeah, Notion Thief Time Twister's pretty good.
Thoughtseize, Deathrite,
Deathrite, Opt.
Croc's obviously hoping that his opponent just exiles most of his library and then keeps a damnation.
Maelstrom Pulse doesn't do it.
Chooses to keep K-Command.
K-Command does some stuff.
It definitely does stuff. Plays the land.
He needs to cast it now, though.
Probably kill Quirion Dryad? I don't know.
Quirion Dryad lives if they have even if they do have a Force Spike.
Oh yeah, Quirion Dryad gets to live if they've got anything.
Yeah, actually, that's actually though I dislike this play. I would have main phased the K command.
I do dislike passing. You gotta do something.
It's more like you can still K command at instant speed, right? But you gotta attack these tempo decks when their mana is stopped.
Yeah.
That is just like it's the same for like something like Infect in Modern that like, especially because like now like if you see this Jace turning sideways, you cannot K command it. Because you know that they have some sort. You know that they probably have like Blossom in Defense in hand or something like that. Right?
Yeah, something like that would really be a huge blow. Impulses, which gets mana leaked at end of turn, puts another counter on the Quirion Dryad. Oh, I got all these match results now. Gotta plug stuff.
Yeah, our Fisher match has a habit of going long, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Use this mana drain to eat a counter spell.
One man takes the 2/1. Yeah.
See, it's the Force Spike, right? Yeah. No point casting actual counterspell when you have a turn force spike.
Yeah, I mean, you
Even
cast
if
your
more mana
force spec the first time that your opponent allows you, basically, pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And now this Dryad is a thick boy, but I mean, like, K-Command is in pretty free, like a pretty free scenario to try to kill something.
Well,
I really
mean,
hope he doesn't try to hit Jace.
something is
because Jace
Jace,
will
right?
flip. Jace is going to flip.
Yeah, but like K-Command doesn't do can kill.
Doesn't do anything else, yeah.
Like I think you needed to have I think K-Command wasn't good enough. I think you needed to find the Wrath.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. I think your line needed to be.
Yeah, you just keep going. You know that you have 4 answers in your deck, and
What does he have in hand that he discards the mental?
his hand is currently.
Oh, he's got counterspell, literal actual counterspell.
Composed
Okay,
of exactly literal actual counterspell.
Place dot Sylvan Library, and this is exactly the kind of board state you want.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Deck.
the Jace is kind of bonus. You wanted the Quirion Dryad and then some stuff.
Yeah. Do you think Jace is gonna like downtick to pull out like a mental note or something?
No, I think that Jace is gonna go up, and
Probably.
because you have Blink of an Eye, you can just pass and plan to Blink of an Eye the Sylvan Library at the end of turn.
Yeah. It's in for
Like you have
4.
something to do with your mana. That's good enough. You don't need.
So if he does cast the Blink of an Eye, his opponent's dead in 2 turns. Do you think
Yes.
he's gonna get greedy and pay the kicker on Blink of an Eye, or?
Ooh, is Goyf big enough to block the Dryad? He might be.
Goyf probably is big enough to eat counterspell. No?
No. I mean, it's just gonna
you
get
can
bounced,
Blink
right?
of an Eye. Yeah.
Well, I guess you could bounce the Charm of Goyf, yeah, instead of bouncing the Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bounce the Goyf here and probably
Like
hold
Sylvan
up counterspell.
Library, Barbells' life total is low enough that Sylvan Library can't really.
Also, now empty-handed, so you know
Can't
exactly
really
what's
like
going
draw cards
Oh.
anyway. So
Gets greedy by kicking the
on. It's
Blink
not.
of an
It's
Eye.
not greedy. He's empty-handed.
it's not greedy.
Oh, his
yeah.
opponent's empty-handed. Okay.
You were
Yeah.
always supposed to hit the Blink of an Eye.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean,
at this point,
my philosophy with Blink of an Eye is that you're always supposed to kick it anyway, but
I think so, but like, I don't
Like,
know.
only
you
kicking
don't
it-
put Blink of an Eye in your deck not to kick it.
Fair.
But sometimes it's better to not.
Yeah,
I find it.
Raw
sometimes
I find it a lot.
I mean, it's not that it's bad, it's not that sometimes you can't.
It's like
Repudiate,
if it-
replicate in hand.
Like half the time against my deck, I wouldn't want to take a Blink and Eye.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're just gonna get force spiked or something.
Is Croc gonna be able to cast 3 more cards after Mental Note? I guess depending on what he hit, he's gonna be able to, right? At which point our opponent would just be dead.
Yeah, but I don't think
I don't think he's gonna.
it's fine. Like he doesn't need to.
Having a 6/6 Quirion Dryad is
That's
good
pretty
enough.
You
Yeah.
can kill your opponent in 2 turns. So I think at this point Quirion Dryad is also bigger than Goyf.
So that's probably an interesting decision.
Plus the Goyf can just become a 3/3. Can be replicated. Oh, I guess that no wait. It's a repudiate replicate, not incubation in
Is he gonna repudiate this Verdant Catacombs?
No.
No, it's probably just gonna point the counterspell at the Goyf.
Or
Yeah,
you could
counterspell
yeah,
the
let's do
Goyf
it,
or
yeah.
make your own Goyf. Either no, I guess you
could-
can.
Or make your own Goyf, yeah.
you could
No, you
repudiate
cannot.
the
Yeah,
library.
no,
replicate
that's
is only
fine.
creatures you control.
Yeah, you can repudiate the library. Which
You can
would be
repudiate the
kinda
library, but the library is whatever. Oh, Imto
Imto
Turek
Turek.
though. Imto Turek kinda does
Yeah.
it. It does mean that the Goyf is gonna resolve, because the counterspell is gonna need to...
counterspell hits him.
You need to cast him first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Jace can just downtick
Oh, yeah,
and,
right.
and blink of an eye and bounce the Goyf again, though, is the thing.
I keep forgetting the stream's delayed.
Can
yeah.
people in chat just spam cowboy molders, please?
Yeah, just could you give us a quick smug molder, which is the best?
Yeah,
I mean,
just a
Jace
bunch of
bounces.
just a
Jace
bunch
just
of cards.
recast
Like I see no activity in chat, and they
Yeah.
would like thank you.
Yeah, Jace just recast Blink of an Eye.
Yeah, bounces the Goyf and then the game's over.
Yeah. This game is been very close to being over for a while.
Yeah. I mean that's how Tempo wants to do it. Establish an early query and dry it.
Yeah,
Kinda focus up till
this is a clinic in tempo game, so it's just what they want to do.
Fantastic. So we're on to game 3. Very exciting.
Yeah, this match has been great. It's all right. So I don't see. Okay, so the problem with Croxand is that he doesn't have a threat.
Did
Which means he
keep
might
it?
have to mulligan. Yeah, I think he kept it, but I probably wouldn't have. And on the other hand, Barbells just a bunch of value cards, which is fine.
Is that a misdirection? Yeah, it is.
There is a misdirection. Not only misdirection, not only misdirection cannot target K command.
Chooses to keep the no land or no threat hand.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know. We're gonna.
Yeah,
He's like he has good cards in hand. Like his hand is made of a good ratio of lands and spell. The cards are good, but it's like I don't know that if I'm playing tempo, I'm a big fan of keeping hands that don't have a threat in it.
Yeah,
no.
I think the problem is that all the cards in his hand are good, and his hand as a whole is like, you know, it's got resilient answers to
But it
stuff.
doesn't do it.
It doesn't do anything,
Right,
yeah.
that's the problem, is that his deck is not set up like a control deck where if the game goes long, you're gonna win eventually. It's his deck
If
is
the game
he's
goes
gonna end
long,
up
you
drawing Deep Root Champion on turn 6 and
then
just
having
playing
Deep Root
counterspell,
Champion.
you know?
Like, I'm playing blue-red, so I'm one of the best decks to try and pretend to be a control deck, and I still don't like keeping it at 2-0.
Yeah, the hands like this where it doesn't really do anything at all
Yeah.
are kind of rough.
Yeah, because he doesn't really run threats. He can just play after everything.
Right. You have to play them first.
Removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard for green to pretend to be a control deck.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, I mean, this Gush is stranded.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It
so it
doesn't have
is.
2 island.
Can play Miscalc.
Or
Can is that the
What's
one
the
that puts on
blue
top
card
memory
there?
lapse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's okay.
his hand, I have it like a little bit more zoomed here, but his
What version is
hand
that memory lapse? Force spike
is
memory lapse.
currently Force Spike memory lapse.
Miscal.
That is the ugliest
Misdirection.
primitive memory lapse I've ever seen, by the way.
It's
version
is
that
really
memory
bad. White border.
Misdirection, miscalculation, Gush Blink, Micromox. Like that is
Yeah.
heinous. Like this is
A
like
lot of stuff that doesn't do anything.
No threats in hand, man.
His opponent casts him. If his opponent casts an Ancestral, he's happy.
yeah.
I mean, nice misdirection, right? That's
Yeah.
sweet.
I mean, in terms of things that you had misdirect, that's probably the highest possible value, right?
Do you counter impulse here?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
No.
Whatever.
Yeah.
If you're gonna keep this hand, you're not gonna be miscalculating it.
Yeah,
You want
if
to
you're
miscalculate
gonna
it, matter.
pretend to be, choose to memory lapse it, sure.
That's not
Well,
great.
isn't this on his end step though?
Yeah, this is on.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't cast in the challenge spell.
Like the thing is just like yeah, like
Yeah, maybe.
Windy's got it right. If you keep this hand, you can't play the tempo. You can't be gonna be like I'm gonna keep this hand and then I'm gonna play the tempo game. It's just That's just not how this hand works. This is a control hand. You have to play the control game, and the control game is not countering counter spells.
Well,
Not
I
countering
love
random
these-
cantrips.
I love these greedy colorless lands in the 4-color deck. I'm
okay with
Gyre-
Sherman Wasteland. I don't know about Guy Reach.
I
Guy Reach
think
is just-
if you have decided to play a 4-color deck, you just put on your cowboy hat and you just go yee-haw with your lands and just go nuts. Like
He
at
finally
that point,
finds something to do. Stifle bird. No.
you have
Right,
you,
try the impulse again. So what
Don't
do you
counter the impulse.
you
what
have
do you think was
so
behind?
in draft the other day I had a deck that was green black, so I had like 9 forests in it. Also 2 copies of Nicol Bolas Dragon God,
Yeah.
and also Ketra. You will notice that those cards
Dude.
have multiple mana symbols of all the
Five color green black is like very good in War Draft. I've
And
been
I-
super impressed every time
I
play
was
it.
100% playing. I was 100% playing a Cards Bastion in the deck because why not?
Yeah.
Some
well,
question. What do you think the reasoning was behind not just getting a Dath Maiden on the table when your opponent tapped almost out?
Because
I think
I think
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
a fear of them actually having something. If they feel like they can tap out for the impulse, then they feel like they have something to protect.
Yeah, it's not
I'm
like
not
it's not
even
like
sure
it's
I
a
would have put
counterspell.
I would have put Dark Feather on the table. I think Leovold is a much more impactful threat.
Injun Joe takes the 2-1 against Nashty.
That's
Like,
the
also, like, you could, like, there's a way here to float mana so you can cast Spell Pierce.
That's the last match that we are not watching.
Not if you cast Leovold, I don't think.
Not
Well
definitely able, but if you're casting
selected.
Dark Fade, you
If you have
could
Dark Fade, then that would.
float the blue mana through, cast Dark
Oh,
Fade,
yeah.
and have a Spell Pierce for their first counterspell,
Oh, yeah,
which is
for
going to
sure.
be not Force Spike.
And
You
if they
can-
don't, if you don't need it, you can just sit on Visions, right? It's not that
Yes.
mana doesn't even go to waste.
Gosh,
If you don't need it, then it will. That seems bold.
That's
Maybe
not when you want to
misdirection
cast
the
your
dress.
gas. Your gash.
You cannot
Is he
misdirect
gonna
the you cannot
misdirect?
misdirect the dress.
Oh,
Target
it's target
opponent, yeah.
opponent.
Target opponent. You can't misdirect the gush. Misdirect the dress.
Wow, it says target opponent. That card was printed in like 1785.
Why are you casting this Nimble Obstructionist?
Oh, he doesn't want-
not sure.
You can't dress that.
You can't dress it. Yeah, no, I am confused.
Oh, he wanted to get the gush out. He
I
didn't
understand the
want the
gush.
to
I
be
don't
dressed.
understand the Nimble Obstructionist.
No. I mean, he can't play the Nimble Obstructionist if he doesn't play it now, and he didn't want the gush to get dressed.
He
I
can.
understand.
Totally can.
No,
And
no,
wait
I mean,
until the opponent tries to pass through combat and then cast it.
Yeah, he still has the mana floating, but I mean
Oh,
at that
okay.
point.
His opponent is
doesn't-
his opponent's currently floating a mana, which means that if his opponent wanted to cast a 3-mana spell,
he'd have to do it now.
yeah, and then you would have had the Force Spike up for it. And of course, Ari Wilds is being very patient with his 3-drops, despite knowing that there's nothing on the other side.
Yeah.
How does he know there's
Dress.
Oh yeah,
Duress.
duress.
The rest
Yeah,
just
yeah.
literally just happened. Yeah.
I mean, now Croc has counter spells up and lands and a threat. Wasteland? Why Wasteland? He
It
can't
does,
generate any colored mana.
I mean, yeah, he can make blue or
Wasteland
black now
restricts his
after.
opponent off blue and black.
Yeah. It doubles strands colors. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, he's a Chrome Mox.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Pteramander.
Plays the Chromox in order to
Yeah, this Chrome Mox finally has use.
Yeah,
Here the
and
Gyro Sanitarium is showing its real. Why play the Terry?
Why not? What's your
Because
opponent
you
gonna
don't
do
want the
with
counterspell.
his?
There's no counterspells anymore, so misdirection.
Yeah. Also, your opponent doesn't have blue mana.
Yeah.
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 This is the weak point where he can. How many instant sorceries are in his graveyard?
Like some.
Whose graveyard?
In Croc.
4. There's 4.
Four, yeah.
So Terramander costs 4 now.
Chosen
I don't understand why this guy reads Sanitarium this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you know,
I was being a little like joking about it earlier, but like, yeah, I mean, also if you want to put a colorless stand in your deck,
4-color
Wasteland.
control is not the deck to play.
okay, that is
We
the
need
other
to
thing,
like-
right? You are playing blue and red. Why Garrick Sanitario and not Desolate Loot House?
Yeah, the Loot House.
Like, Desolate Lighthouse is a much better card. Your opponent doesn't get to loot.
Yeah, Gyro Sanitarium is really showing its
Croc's
cracks here.
kind of running away with it.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's entirely possible that his opponent finds, like, a Wrath off of the Gyro.
Yeah, if your opponent finds a Wrath soon,
to
the
cast
game
it.
can be over. But, like, one of the Rats is getting invalidated pretty soon because Toxic
life.
Deluge doesn't do anything if you're at, like, 2 life.
Yeah.
Can Pteramander evolve yet?
It costs 4, and he has 4 in the graveyard.
Okay.
Or yeah, it costs 7. Or no, 8.
Costs
Cost
8,
4 in the
so it
graveyard.
can't yet.
Costs 4 total.
So
and
it
he's
can
free.
if this
We're good.
Rift import happens.
Yeah, but
But now
I
now
mean,
Terramander's active.
he couldn't before damage is the thing.
I assume
Like,
this Terra Rift import is actually just tapping down the stomping ground and then ending the game that way. But
Yeah, that's rough. This is not what you want to see, and now it's over.
no, it's over. I mean,
good old Bogard Gate.
You know, like
The
we
tap
made fun of
land.
Croc. We made fun of Croc for keeping the control heavy hand, but it lined up really well against what.
No, yeah,
doing,
it ended up
i.e.
working out. I
nothing.
don't know that. I mean, I'm still a little sketchy. I'm still a little dubious about that hand, but it ended up working out that game.
I think if I was Croc, I would have mulled it, but.
And I would have absolutely mulled it. I think I probably would have been a bit more proactive on our side as well.
Yeah.
Well, you got two things you can put into play, and they can't really counter it.
That's the end of round 2. I'm gonna run some pairings. So if you just give us a quick moment, and we'll set up round 3.
Why don't our players, while Elo ducks out to get to do scorekeeping, why don't the people give us their impression for round 2? How did round 2 go?
I drew lands and spells. It's actually fun in that match.
Yeah, I got to do so I got to kill someone with their own, or kind of their own card, and it was real fun. And then I lost the other 2 matches.
Yeah, you copied my gutter snipe and then dispatched it.
Nice.
I got to get a win with Lupine prototype, so that's always fun.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah,
I didn't count how much it would cost to adapt Baramander and gave my opponent an extra turn.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened there.
I straight up just...
I resolved Brimaz twice.
I saw the wrist report line. I was like, so I'm going to do that. And then I swung. I'm like, I should clip it.
Wait.
Oh, God. I should check how much this...
well, to be fair, you also resolved Brimaz when I had 1 land in play, so yeah. My lesson of the tournament is keep hands with lands that you can cast spells. That usually helps.
Yeah, I learned that was my round 1, game 1. I was like, kept 2 islands, some burn spells, and like I think it was Terramander. And like, well, I'm not doing anything this game. See ya.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear the savage beat story from last round, my opponent, Injun Joe, cast Narset Reversal on.
Being fair, that was also Mold 5, homie.
That's true, but he got back to basics with my Dark Petition, and then cast it off the mana. Totally, that my own.
To be fair,
that's the definition.
If your
of getting
story
hoisted by a
starts,
heroic petard.
to be fair, if your story starts with my opponent cast Narset's Reversal, it's usually gonna end up being a savage beat.
It usually goes bad for you.
Very powerful
does nothing or just
when you can cast it. Yeah.
TRM. If I could ask you a quick question, is our priority showing the finals or showing the most number of players?
I would probably show the finals, unless it's 2 players that we have already seen. Then...
Is it? Who did we watch round 1?
I'm 2-0 and I haven't been in the fight. I haven't been featured yet, so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yes, perfect.
Okay. So if it's only 1 player that we have seen, I think.
Also, if he's in the finals, it might go quickly.
I mean, based on our choices so far, our feature match is not going to be.
Yeah, our feature matches always last forever, which is actually not bad because we have endgames for those and not endgames for the other one. But like,
maybe I can be on the feature.
Either way,
is everybody ready?
My point is more like yeah, okay, either way, yeah, sure.
Is everybody ready for round 3?
Yeah.
The final round.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody. There are your pairings. Remember, player 1 sets up the match. In Getting Serious on Vintage,
I've masterfully avoided ever having to set up the match.
nice job dodging that one.
Like a professional.
And then Croc and Gozmit just stay here, and we'll get everything set up for showing your hands. Luckily, Croc's already set up, so it'll just be Gozmit.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you? I haven't set up a game before. On FGTO, I think.
Great question. I don't know.
Host do, but like.
Oh no, he's talking about starting a match. Like
yeah, like host new match, but how do you like make the title? Oh, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea how that works. So.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I see your
Croc can start it if you.
I see the game on Magic Online. It doesn't have the title, but whatever.
Got there.
We haven't figured it out. Can you?
a really exciting bracket so far.
I can
Very
try.
cool. Let me rip some players. Already
Just gonna figure this stuff out. Phone call, video.
Hey, TRM, is this our best first week ever?
I mean, we have had a few like technical difficulties here and there. We started late, which wasn't great, and we have had like a couple technical difficulties here and there.
Yeah, but if you go back and edit all the announcement posts for when you start, then you can say you didn't start late.
Exactly.
True. That is true.
And no one can call you out on it except Wheeler.
Wheeler.
He's not here enough to think to check those logs and call you out.
Exactly.
Let's get Wheeler to play in one of these.
Yeah, Wheeler's gonna play in one of these eventually. I have no doubt.
Okay, Gozmit is having some trouble. Let me just find him, and then I can just message him myself. I just didn't want to have to dig up his email, but
whose email?
Gozmit's, but yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
But I have that information. It's just that
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna just message it to you.
Spicy card.
Okay, yeah, I also found your email, so.
Oh, cool.
So I can just. There you go. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got some real spice to talk about.
We can't see anything. I actually can't see any messages.
I just sent you a. Okay, let me mute so that. Let me mute myself.
See that helps.
Let me mute myself real quick. Elo, you entertained.
I will do my best, but I can't do much without talking list. Okay, I'll continue to talk until the end of time. Sorensen was pretty sweet. I think that like the tempo versus control matchup, I don't know enough about it to tell who's like supposed to win, but it feels like it's pretty even. Both players having counterspells definitely throws a wrinkle in things for the controls player at least, because like normally when you're playing against a counterspell deck, right? What you're doing with your counterspells is hoarding them up and then trying to resolve one big threat right against the other control deck. But against the like tempo decks that just have rando counterspells sitting around, the way that you have to approach acquiring cards in hand and countering their stuff is different.
I apologize to the people on stream because they're hearing. Yeah, okay. We got there.
Got there? Go there?
Yeah. No. The people on here were hearing the Google Hangouts noise of Colin because.
Oh no.
because we had some trouble setting the call up with Croc, but with Gozmit, but we got there now. And now I need to remember which of these is Croc.
Remember, if you are watching the stream, feel free to follow us. We'll be streaming every week this time not this time. We'll be streaming every week on Saturdays at 10, unless it's canceled, and it will really only be canceled like national holidays that people are going to be for, and big major events that a lot of our players are going to. For example, next month there's going to be GP Seattle. Probably not going to run one Seattle weekend, mostly because I will be at GP Seattle. But
yeah, and probably I won't even be in the country, so it's a good one to skip.
Yeah.
All right, Gozmit, I need you to share your screen. Croc, can you also give me a call?
If you would like to come and play in this event, right? Because I mean, if you're looking at this and you go, "This is," well, you can. All you have to do is go and join the Canadian Highlander Discord. A link should be in the description of the video if you're watching a VOD, or the stream if you're watching the stream live. You can go there and join the Canadian Highlander Discord. It's an awesome community. Even if you don't want to play in these because you're like, well, I can't really afford Moto, but Canlander looks really cool. Let me tell you, the Discord is the perfect place to be. There are tons of people, including me and everybody here, who are excited to talk about the format. If you're like, oh man, I really want to get into aggro, there are people here, including me, who have been dedicated aggro pilots for like a year or more in Highlander, and they can talk your ear off about it. If you want to play black-white D&T or mono-white D&T, Adam Thorne is here, the pilot from Victoria who won the
won a year-end championship, yeah.
Yeah, on that list. So like, the Discord's a great community. Come and join us. And then if you have a Highlander deck, which you can pick up like budget lists for under 30 ticks.
Seems great.
Under like, yeah, somewhere between 20 and 50 ticks usually, and just come and play. So yeah, I think are we ready to get in the match?
Hey, nothing's wrong with losing. To me.
TRM, yes, no.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm setting stuff up on the tech side, so like
I'm tempted to take a look at this.
The stream is so cursed. My face is
give me a second. We're gonna fix everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. I never want to again.
I really don't want to be tapping around like I usually like.
3 of me, but some of them are just this slice.
I can't.
Alright, Gozmit and Croc also didn't mute themselves in the call, so I can hear them chatting in their own chat too.
Play pattern is rude.
And the stream can also, which is yeah, there you go. There you go.
Is it good?
They fixed that. Now let me fix hands and then.
And then we're ready to go?
Then we should be ready to go, yeah.
So, Gozmit is on Mono Red Aggro, and Croc, as you saw earlier, was on Sorensen. For Spicy includes for Gozmit, Gozmit has both, where did it go? He has both Black Lotus, which is sick as hell. The traditional point spread for Mono Red is Mox Ruby, Strip Mine, which is 5 points, and then Mox Emerald, which takes you up to 8, and then you just stop there. But choosing to go for Black Lotus Mox Ruby for the full 10 is choice.
This is a problem.
There was one other card that I want to talk about. He's also playing the Flame of Keld and Light Up the Stage, which I have never felt really good about in aggro, but a lot of players are pretty big fans of the like aggro cards that let you go a little bit longer into. And Gozmit obviously seems to be one of them.
Okay, what is...
Easy curve 1-2 Tattermunge into Viacino Pyromancer, but he can't not attack with the Tattermunge. I mean, one of the worst 2-1s, I would say.
Must attack is turn fable.
Yeah, not a big fan of that one.
Welcome to 2 for 1 territory.
Goyf, just being a 2-3 is... Oh!
Maybe.
The mutagenic growth blowout. Let's go! Goyf being... just a creature that has high toughness and high power can definitely be very effective against aggro decks, because I mean a lot of the removal is it deals 3 damage, and then it's, you know, once your Goyf gets up to 4 or 5 toughness, it's like now I really have to find, like, I don't know, Invigorated Rampage to actually push through damage through the Goyf.
Yeah, Goyf is also a big problem for, like, as a Blue Moon player. It's like I have like 4 cards in my deck and kill it, but that's one of the reasons to play Scred.
Right, exactly.
This is the TheRedMage's weekly PSA. If you're playing Blue Moon, play Scred.
Play Scred. Yeah. I mean, Gozmit's not happy about 2 for wanting to get rid of the Goyf, but he is happy that the Goyf is gone at least.
I thought that was my deck.
Searing Spear is going to get pointed at the Quirion Dryad with choice, and then in for 4. I mean,
Teenagers don't grow.
So here's the thing.
They stop growing, that's when they stop growing.
Depending on the hand, the tempo, either very good,
I guess
very bad. It just
go.
depends how many, like, free or very cheap counterspells can be huge blowouts.
So, I'm sorry for this delay in setting hand games up. For whatever reason, whichever window I select is Croc's hand cam. It shows me Croc's hand, and like including the hangouts call that I have going on with Eloquen, where I'm covering his face. But like if I try to show that, yeah, it just shows.
I'm actually Croc's hand.
Yeah, you're actually Croc's hand. So that's a bit confusing, but Let me try. So we're showing Croc's hand. That's hand.
Right. Or at least we can see that.
Gozmit's hand, working on it.
Gozmit's in a really good position here. Croc has not established any threat.
Gozmit's also has like all sorts of garbage on his screen, to be honest, which I wish he didn't. He has like the hotkeys and like there's a pop out from Hangouts at the bottom that I wish he would dismiss, but whatever.
This is not what Croc wants to see out of his opponent. He was holding up in the gate there, and now his opponent's just gonna go, I don't know, hit you 7.
Yeah,
Lol.
just casual 7, casually 7.
Yeah.
Because, you know, why not?
Croc's also in a tough spot because his removal spell of choice in hand right now is Dismember, which is really bad against aggro.
As it turns out.
Taking 4 damage to kill something is
Holy
bad.
smokes, I am sorry about this.
Yeah, so Croc is dead in 2 turns if he doesn't do anything.
It's fine, he's gonna do something.
It's not looking... Oh, man. Oh, yeah. This is looking great. Love what you've done with the stream.
I'm working on it.
I believe you. Yeah, man. Croc does not have anything to do. Like, he could berserk the Monastery Swift Spear, which would deal him an additional 1, but kill it. Other than that, he's just a little blown out right now.
Yeah, so we can now see Gozmit's hand. I managed to convince Streamlabs to do its thing.
And he chooses to berserk the Monastery Swift Spear just to get rid of it. Takes the extra 1, goes to 4. Like he's still dead, but
yeah,
at least now there are cards he can draw that would make him not dead, I believe. Right?
So the Stifle Bird, I mean, he can't because we know that Exquisite Firecraft is in Gozmit's hand, and you can't really do very much about that card.
Yeah, right. Yeah, once your opponent has spellcrafted, you're pretty fucked on that one. Yeah, and they're just gonna go to the next game.
Right.
Yep, that checks out. Early pressure from Gozmit is really the only way he...
Outside of Gozmit's completely horrific as desktop layout, I think we got that.
Stromkirk Noble's getting in there on the humans value right now.
Oh yeah, that bit of scene. It's actually a human. Okay, Daisy is gonna stop that from being a thing. Aggro tends to be a very tough matchup for these tempo decks usually.
Well, yeah, I think like the thing with the tempo decks is that if your aggro opponent has a hand that plays a lot like a combo hand, right, where they play out, you know, say they've got like a Mox, like a Crow Mox, and then they play like a pump spell or whatever, hands from tempo really effectively that. But if your opponent just plays a bunch of creatures that are just like big, you know, there's not much you can do. Imprints mission briefing on Crow Mox and plays out Chase.
Yeah, I mean that's one half of the thing. The thing is just like you are trying to go fast and being tricky, and your opponent is just gonna be meow. So it's like
exactly.
It's like you're trying to be fast and being tricky, and your opponent is trying to just go fast.
Yeah, and aggro's way faster. The other thing is,
yeah, because they're concentrating all of their energies and going fast.
Yeah, the other thing with tempo versus aggro is that if the tempo deck effectively deals with everything their opponent, you're still screwed if you're at a low life total. Because
because then just top deck an Exquisite Firecraft, and
yeah,
then
exactly.
like, huh?
And then you're just dead. I mean, it's worth noting that Gozmit's hands have been pretty sick so far, but
I mean, yeah, I mean, Croc is in a very good shape, right? But also, a lot of these threats that you have in your deck either are small or start small, and Gozmit's Gozmit's deck is not afraid to play like it can play like Burn, but it can play like Sly. Like it doesn't it's very happy playing like Sly, right? Like pointing the removal downstairs to clear the way for these creatures, and these creatures hit hard. Like you see an Uncrop Crusher here, and a Croc's gonna go down to 13.
Yeah, taking a whole 5 and going into 13. Chooses not to exert the Uncrop Crusher.
Yeah, I mean, if you end up eating the
trading
Jace,
with the Jace is a
it's not even a trade, right? Just gets eaten.
Oh yeah.
You're pretty happy with doing that.
I'm not supposed to report this crap.
Yeah. All right.
I forgot to report it last round. My opponent did it for me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to report this because I actually won my match."
Right, I have things I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Who are we watching?
Over to Croc. Croc and Gozmit, which is the finals.
Yeah, it's the finals, and there's Croc is playing tempo. He has a flipped Elver and the Jace and a creature Jace and the Planeswalker Jace, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
but Gozmit is beating him down mercilessly.
You know, I find sometimes that more open Canlander fields can be very soft to aggro, because a lot of people like playing these, like, you know, rando control and kind of weirdo mid-range decks.
I feel attacked by this statement.
I mean,
I also died really hard to mono red, so
it's not a thing that like, oh, people are really metagaming wrong. It's just that the decks that people like to play in this format tend to also be decks that are soft to aggro or that have like 50-50 matchups with aggro. And so when you queue up, if you're really trying to crush something, sometimes aggro can be your best choice, because you can expect a lot of your opponents to have, like, you know, oh, I'm playing this kind of sweet artifacts deck, right? I'm gonna lock you out of the game, and you go,
and you're like,
you know? Yeah, exactly.
Pretty alright against aggro decks that aren't mono red. So I'm kind of built to hit on, like, Death and Taxes, for example. I'm running Electrode, and I'm running players to be able to deal with Death and Taxes and stuff. I'm kind of built around Death and Taxes, around fighting Death and Taxes and such, and then die to mono red, because mono red's different.
What is that Goblin Guide art? I've never
it's the sweetest Goblin Guide. What are you talking about?
I like this art, yeah.
So Goblin Guide?
No,
it's the same Goblin Guide from the newer art, just at a different angle, I believe.
I wasn't saying it's bad. I've just never
what is
seen
it? Yeah. I had to ask that question about a card earlier. Like that memory lapse art. What art was that memory lapse earlier?
Like garbage.
That was the ugly lapse.
That was embarrassing. Like I'm usually not for like being like, oh no, you can't, like, this is a terrible like, no, that was terrible.
You can play whatever versions of cards you want, but like,
except for that one. You can play for any version of any card you want except that memory lapse. Fuck that memory lapse. I'm sorry. I don't know if we're...
Wow! Art critic, TheRedMage.
I'm sorry for this is a family-friendly stream. I am sorry for swearing. We'll beep that in post. Wait, we're live. God damn.
Yeah. I got to cast 2 Ancestrals and a Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's nice.
But on the conversation you were having about aggro being good, I feel like the big thing is the online meta hasn't been fully established. People are brewing new decks and finding new things. But I recently, in the MTGO League, I've played like 3 games, and 2 out of those 3 were mono red. I feel like there's a decent number of people playing it, and that's going to force people to metagame against it a bit more.
So there's two factors here. The first factor is that I think that the Paper Victoria community is a little bit more competitive than the Discord community. The Discord community, in general, I find is a little bit more like brewy. Let's try to do whatever.
Well, the thing is, we don't have anything to play for stakes, right?
But
the Victoria community is playing for a year-end tournament.
Yeah.
And
on the other hand, the flip side of that is that mono red is one of the cheapest deck you can build, and mono obviously limits you in terms of funds, right? So
plus mono red aggro. Like mono red and red green aggro are, like, in my opinion, some of the most fun decks to play.
Yeah, I mean, mono red is a great deck, and it's very cheap to build. So if you want to, like, play games, that is a cheap way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it is absolutely an opinion. That's why you play red green, right? Like on the other hand, I dislike mono red and mono red style decks, so I don't play them at all.
As someone that loves mono red, there is a certain eloquence in the, hey, do you have an answer? Do you have an answer? Do you have an answer?
Yeah.
Or like, the
I prefer being on
the
the side that goes yes, 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 still yes.
Well, the thing with aggro decks is that often, like, yeah, you start out with a win rate of like 75% against certain decks, right, or like 60%, but then there are tricky interactions and sequencing subtleties that can take you from like a 60% against a certain deck to like a 68, right? The difference between a genuinely very good aggro pilot and somebody who just picked up the deck is much more noticeable than people think.
Aggro doesn't get enough credit. Aggro is very hard to pilot in my experience. It's just like sequencing. Like, the thing is that
do I kill their thing that's going to get bigger, or do I point this burn spell at them? Is a question you get asked almost every game.
It's
most of the time.
The thing is, it's different because it's true that in general in aggro games, because they tend to be shorter when they go your way, you end up with fewer decisions that matter more. You end with fewer decisions that matter, but each of those decisions matters more.
Yeah,
right.
Whereas in a control deck where you've like put a back to basics in play, you have 5 turns to figure your stuff out. The random minor mistakes don't matter as much.
Yeah. Right. Because you get to make more decisions, right? Like, so like you have more resources, you have more cards, you have more decisions to make. Also, I would like to give a shout out to the current multicultural stream that we have going on right now. I just got a notification. So currently we have obviously a bunch of graphics in English and stuff.
Right.
We are seeing on Gozmit's screen this pop-up that he still hasn't dismissed, which I believe is in Danish.
Dion Skim,
yeah. And a notification just popped on my screen that you could see behind the hand, and it was in Italian. So like we have this whole rainbow.
Yeah, we're really getting there on the multicultural.
We're a global stream.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Jace Telepath Unbound can make the on-crab crasher not as thick, but
the Jace Telepath Unbound should never flash anything back though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, under no circumstances.
I do not like attacking with the Insectile Aberration here at all.
I mean,
just even 1%.
This Jace Mind's Culture has to be bouncing something, right?
I don't think it matters.
Doesn't matter, all has haste.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, he's not gonna be able to block anything because of the Frenzied Goblin. Like,
he bounced the Frenzied Goblin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he bounced the Frenzied Goblin. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's still dead here.
No, I think it kind of doesn't matter what he does. He's pretty much dead regardless. But
he's incredibly dead here.
Very dead.
Yeah, on-crab crasher makes it so that the deeper champion can't block.
Mono red is incredibly powerful.
Deck's great, man.
This was the thing in standard a lot of the time where it's like, I am playing mono haste, mono you can't block.
Yeah.
Like the thing is that again. We were saying that this deck is happy to play like Barn and happy to play like Sly, and that's a great place to be, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna like go slow and gum up the ground. I'm gonna point my Barn spells upstairs. You're gonna just have a few blockers. Well, some of those can block and some of them gets burned out. And
yeah, I'm much better about playing against the Sly version as opposed to the burnt. I can typically kill a bunch of Berserk.
Oh, nice. Berserk's up the... Well, yeah. I think that was Croc's line, right? Is that hope his opponent doesn't have a burn spell, get in for 3 with the Insectile Aberration, and then you get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and just play
you just hope that your opponent has like 4 lands in hand or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the only way you're gonna win, then you need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's if that's the only line that gives you a win percentage, you take it. But this is not
the last match to finish.
Yeah, for the first time.
It's not the first match to finish either.
Our feature, match to finish.
Yeah, Yeah, congratulations to Gozmit. I think he's gonna be the only 1-3-0. That's how the matches end up shaking out. I think. Let's go tune into some of the other matches, shall we?
Yeah, you wanna watch Loman play?
Yeah, sure.
Loman is a staple of the Canadian Highlander Moto community. Plays a bunch of control.
We're not gonna have hand cams for this match, though.
Yeah, no hand cams for this match because obviously.
Looks like mono white death and taxes.
Yeah, Loman's on. I mean, mono white DNT is pretty clear from the Brightling. I think that card's garbage.
I noticed it from the Remorseful Cleric in Natalia, but sure.
Oh no, it's the greatest thief in the multiverse.
Oh no, he took the Ether Vial.
That Faden is the greatest thief in the multiverse.
No, just okay.
His opponent is at 2.
And
so
Barbells is at 2, and I think he's likely to win this game. Shout out to Samurai of the Pale Curtain. What an absolute homie.
It's going in the bin.
That card's great.
Note that card is not Rest in Peace and does not stop things that are not permanents.
No.
Yes.
I mean,
including
Barbells has only one card in hand. Like, they're both empty-handed, but this deck kind of ensures that card is going to be a good one, pretty much.
Yeah, when you get... Yeah, it's a strategic planning every turn instead of...
instead of being able to basically thirst for knowledge every turn instead of just drawing a card. That's pretty good.
So there was a Notion Thief earlier.
Do you think this is the time that he starts cracking in with Creeping Tarpit?
Dahlia?
No.
This Creeping Tarpit has to stop him from dying for a bit.
Thalia is the last card in hand.
The Lumen stopped decking. He's just Abrupt Decay takes care of the Thalia.
At this point, I would start.
Yeah, I guess I probably.
Shoutouts to Andrea Mengucci that every time he says Abrupt Decay in his videos, I just die from laughter.
What does he say?
His accent. I mean, I am not one to talk, obviously, but his accent is great. It sounds something like something like Abrudeka or something like that.
Is that Pokemon?
Abrudeka, friend of Abu Jafar, early magic
creature. So I was thinking like Abracadabra.
Yeah, like Abracadabra. What is happening with this?
It's more like Abrudeka, but
Ether Vials and Snapcaster to counterspell.
One living weapon. Oh wait.
Oh yeah, Ether. Man,
that's a sweet line.
Also, the
Blast from the past here. Like, this is an Eternal Domain line. Nice.
The freaking Snapcaster. Ethobach.
Ah, yeah.
Like, he didn't need to do that at all.
But it was sweet.
No, it was sweet. At the beginning of Modern, there was this deck called Eternal Domain. And the deck played a grand total of, I believe, 9 creatures and 4 Ether Vials.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a good point from Lowman. It's like, you have a deck in play. What are you trying to stop me from having?
Also, I'm just kind of wondering, like, what's the point of not attacking with Tarpit here?
What's the point of not attacking with Snapcaster?
To be fair, actually, if Loman takes Batterskull, that's actually kind of annoying because you can't.
Has he not played against Mono Red?
I mean, you could take the Batterskull with the Dark Bane and equip it to your Snapcaster.
Yeah, now that you have a Snapcaster, but if you don't have Snapcaster,
I wouldn't have counted Steel Shapers. I would have Snapcaster later for probably casting the fact.
All right, so I think this is our last match going on. Very exciting. Do you know what the
Barbells loves casting Mystic Confluence for just in Jesus Ingenuity mode.
They pick up Snapcast.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good.
What's up?
How can you tell what how many games each player's won? Like
you can't just
I don't think you can.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Quality program.
Obviously, yeah.
I think it says on the sideboard maybe, but
yeah, I mean you couldn't do that in X-Mage either.
No, in X-Mage you can.
So you can't looking at the.
Yeah, it's not easy to find, but the information is there.
Did he choose not to DAC there?
Looks like it.
No, he definitely DAC'd.
It's just a question of they want to be as close to real life Magic, and you can't remember in Magic, so you shouldn't be able to remember an MTGO either.
Yeah, if you show up on a match, you can't unless you ask the players. You don't know. You don't know what the score
We could
is.
ask the players.
We could ask the players. I'm gonna just do that actually.
That was a
like the chat's available. We could just
fast.
ask them. Yeah.
Fine.
Ether Vials in Leovold. Nice. Ether Vials in Leovold on the end step. I love how this Ether Vials. I'm not gonna lie to you. It makes me really happy.
So if
the fact that Ether Vials is doing some stuff, it's great.
So if Lowman draws a card and keeps it in hand, activating can target Lowman and make him pitch it.
Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
So guesses is Lowman's not keeping a card in hand. I mean, I don't think he has a spell more than 5 mana, so...
Yeah, I mean, nothing might want to keep in hand is...
No, isn't Dak just... Oh my god, Dak and Leovold.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, this deck is built around doing things with Leovold and with Notion Thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say,
It's
this is really an idea.
So that's why there's a Time Twister in this deck.
How are they not splashing white for the white flash?
Great
you know, if this is not game 3,
5-color, man.
we might just guide them to show their hands.
And Ari is on top.
Yeah, I mean, okay. If this is not the last game, we might just move to
Loman
showing
with
hands.
the GGs in chat there.
Plural GGs, it implies that this is done.
Yeah.
No, I mean...
Opts it up?
I usually say GGs related to a single game, right?
7.
I usually don't.
I usually do not either.
I mean, I usually don't write anything in Modoshot because I don't want to remind my opponent that Modoshot exists usually, but...
Yeah,
if they're writing stuff on there, I'll write GGs every game.
Yeah, if it has been a good game, I will write GG.
Oh!
If it's been a good match, I'll write GGs.
Twists it up with the Leovold in play. Woo!
So we refer to that as sending the opponent to the Shadow Realm.
I mean, actually, this Time Twister drew Loman a card, so.
That's so
yeah.
sick.
If he loses now, that's gonna be so sad. Like, imagine a flash restoration.
There's a white lightning bolt, right?
It's called Sunlance.
It's called Sunlance on hit
Harm's Way hit players.
Harm's Way can totally hit players, yeah.
That is the ouch.
He did Harm's Way me, actually. He has a good point.
Swings in for a 4.
What is it? Come-uppance?
See the real white lightning bolt.
Now
slams a skyship.
Is Harm's Way at tie or does it go in a stack?
Pardon?
Is Harm's Way?
It would be a draw.
Why does he not attack with Creaming Tar Pit? Does he not know it attacks?
Yeah, actually a mistake, I promise, in chat. Okay, correct.
No, you
can't lose
I mean...
game.
Go back to one life because one life was gained.
Let's see if we can do it. Ether Vials in.
Don't crack the fetch.
Crack that fetch.
I've actually done that in paper and lost the game because of
Yeah, it has happened.
Yeah.
I've done my share of...
I've done it against Loman on stream because I wasn't...
And there we go.
I was losing that game regardless.
Okay,
though.
Loman wins the match.
He did intentionally, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, I think that's all of them.
So Ari wins in 3, I believe that indicates.
Either that, or he just doesn't believe he can win in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Lack of confidence.
Well, that's that wins the match. So.
Yeah, it's. I mean, for sure, the match has been concluded. But...
Yeah, I'll put that in as Barbells taking the win. So.
Yeah.
Gonna go to the final standings.
Yeah.
Is Loman in chat here?
They're still in the other voice channel.
Yeah, they don't know.
See, we could wait for them to join, and we could just wait till one of them switches to this room, and then all join the control channel.
somebody wrangle them, and then we'll do the conclusion.
Oh, we're already in the process of.
He's wrangling.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
Get
right.
wrangling.
Desperados.
Well, we got them all. Fantastic. Thank you to all of our players for coming out and playing with us. This has been an amazing first week. Much cleaner than previous first weeks in tournaments and stuff.
Yeah,
Somebody didn't show up, but we had so many players that it didn't matter.
Yeah, we had some technical stuff on, with the hands and stuff, but that's, it's a little bit more finicky than it was on X-Mage, but it worked out pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it's no issue. I want to congratulate Gozmit, who 3-0'd pretty cleanly. That was sweet stuff.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't pay for a days with a Simian Spirit Guide.
I want to get it on the record that he beat me 2-0 so quickly we played another a match and started another one. I beat him 3 games after that, so those are my only 3 wins on the day. But
it wasn't only 2.
Number 2.
I think we only got 2 in Spicy.
Oh yeah, well we had to concede early because the next round started.
Yeah. So I will have final standings posted eventually. I don't know. We'll see.
Soon,
I work in like 2 hours.
So yeah, for last season, although last season kind of got shipwrecked halfway through, we are gonna be keeping track of these things. We are gonna keep track of results, and we're gonna keep track of these and have continually figure out who the best performing players in the season are, keep stats and everything. So
right.
If you want to, we're gonna have a season and playoffs at the end, probably. So make sure that you shop for those.
The idea right now is that if we keep getting this kind of consistent player base, we'll choose a time, some number of weeks in the future, to run a year end, I guess, a season end.
Yeah, I think that the idea here is we are going to have to try and run
like a limited run of tournaments.
Yeah, I think that the idea is to run this tournament for like 10-ish weeks, something like that, and then reconsider. The reason that we want to like divide this in seasons, and first because we want to run season end tournaments, which I think are sweet,
which is fun.
The second idea is that people's availability changes over time. So every few months we want to be able to rerun a timing poll to make sure that the people that can participate in this thing have an opportunity to do so at the time that is convenient for them, and we can change the times when that happens. So like, we divide this in seasons, and then at the end of each season we run the season end. It's super, it's great, everybody's happy, we celebrate, the winner gets, I don't know, a pat on the back. We don't know if there's gonna be anything, it's gonna be more than that, but we and then after that we run another timing poll, try to see what people's timing availability has become, start from scratch.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Thank you to my co-host, of course, TheRedMage, for his incredible tech work and being here and all that. If you thought this was cool, go and check out Canadian Highlander. You can find more about it by just Googling, like, Canadian Highlander. There's a great video, What is Canadian Highlander 100? There's a WordPress. If you think it looks really cool, I think it does, you can come and play with us by coming over to the Canadian Highlander Discord. A link is in the description of this video if you're watching a VOD, or the description of the Twitch stream if you're watching the stream. Come and join us.
If you don't think it's really cool, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what are you... Did you watch the thing that we just did? If you can't play in the Moto tournaments, that's okay. There's still tons of reasons to join the Canadian Highlander Discord. Fact that we have this wonderful community that has shown up for this tournament.
Yeah, people on the Discord are super cool.
I think there's a model deck for at least each color that's fairly budget.
Yeah, exactly.
If not more.
If you think this looks really cool, there are budget ways to get into playing Canlander on Moto.
Yeah, and I mean, we have people on the Discord that pursue alternatives, but the tournaments are gonna be on Magic Online.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Am I missing anything?
Oh,
I usually am.
That is all. Yeah, join the Discord. Link is in the description down below.
Hang out with us.
Hang out with us. Elo will 100% not yell at you. I cannot guarantee that. I can be a bit ordinary sometimes, but outside of that,
we'll be back next week, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 14 hours Central European Standard Time, whatever that's called.
Except for the part where it's, 17. But
you'll look.
Sorry, 18.
It's 18, and I did the math wrong.
It's 100% 19, and I'm an idiot. It's 7 p.m.
I live here in that time zone, so
7 p.m.
I mean, I've been my parents live in the time zone. I should know the home version, but apparently that's not the world we live in. It's 7 p.m.
Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming out and watching with us. Thank you.
Thanks to everybody in chat. We have had a lot of activity in chat, a lot of viewers, that more than we have had in the past. So
thank you to everybody who came out.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that showed up and hang out with us and watch some powerful magic.
Yeah, you had a question?
If I'm the winner of the season with only mono red, do I get the title of the RedMage?
No.
We'll see about usurping the throne next week.
Tell you what.
There can be more than one
contact with Wheeler. I'll try to make you the TO and bump Elo, and you can be Elo.
You can come around.
You can be Eloquen. And step 1, you're going to need to start splashing green.
Oh no.
And you need to have a real large hatred for Eldrazi Displacer. But once you get those done,
next time.
You'll be a photo replica.
Bye, everybody.
All right, we're gonna call it a day. Thanks everybody for watching. We will see you next Saturday. Another thing actually before we log out.
Oh my God, how long can we say goodbye?
For a bunch, it's fine. All of these VODs, all of the VODs for this tournament and past tournaments are on YouTube. We put everything on YouTube on our channel, which is also in the description down below, I hope.
Yes. If you somehow are seeing this stream and you don't have access to the description, if you want to watch the VOD on YouTube, it's youtube.com. Just Google the 10th point.
Why don't you post the link?
Search it up.
Can you post the link?
I can do that for you. Absolutely.
Right. Awesome. Thanks. Okay. So, that is a good way, for example, to watch past seasons. If you miss a week, all of the VODs are gonna be there. This is gonna go up, I'm assuming, in the next few hours. So thanks. This is gonna be.
Link to the YouTube is in chat.
Awesome.
And I will see y'all next time.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Later.